Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. This
Afternoon.
is Project 365. You tune in to this platform acknowledged as Project 365. I am Portia Wheatley. I am the founder and the president of a nonprofit organization acknowledged as Trophy of Life Incorporated, where we have the opportunity to render hope, encouragement, and inspiration to the whole wide world. And we are grateful to God for the opportunity to do that. I'm going to bring in my co-host.
Hello, everyone. I'm Takira Swan, and I'm so happy to be here with you today. Happy Friday. We have made it through another traditional work week. Before we bring on our guest today, I just want to remind our viewers to go to our YouTube page and like, share, and subscribe. When you do that, you help bring hope, encouragement, and inspiration to the entire world. The entire world.
And I'm just so grateful to God over some of the feedback that we get, the messages that I receive, the emails, just to say how much Project 365 has encouraged them, has inspired them, and have given many, many people hope. So that's what we're about. That's our vision, and that's our assignment. And we want to hold true to that very truth. And I'm grateful to God for that. Well, today I have the great opportunity to give a shout out to veterans around the world. Veterans who have served our country, and we're so grateful to God. I know there are some that have had issues after coming out, but the guest that we have today, he is such a powerful man, and we're grateful again to God for the opportunity to welcome Sargeant, Administrative Sergeant Andre Ross, who is a retired veteran, to our platform.
Yes.
And he is such a great man of God, a great man in general, in the community, in the family. And we're thankful to God, Andre, that you accepted my invitation to come and just share some information about just being a veteran, serving, whatever you want to share, because we want to give you the platform to bring hope, encouragement, and inspiration to other veterans, because you served us well. And we just want to say thank you. You had the platform.
You're welcome. And thank you for inviting me. It's a pleasure to do business with you, Portia, again. As you know, I am a veteran. I was in the United States Army, and I retired in 1991. After serving my country for a while, I got out of the service. I actually was employed with the state of Maryland as a tax collector. During my tenure with the state of Maryland, I became sick from high blood pressure, which in the form of working, my pressure was high. I received medication from the Veterans Hospital. The medicine that they gave me was not actually working for me. It was actually making me sick. So the doctor told me to stop taking my medication. He gave me an appointment to come down to VA so that they could put me on a new medication. However, the very day before my appointment, I suffered a massive stroke. The stroke rendered me, actually I had a blood vessel that busted in the back of my head, and it bled to the right side of my head, which affected my left side completely. So my left side was totally paralyzed. I stayed in the hospital for a while, and I received care from the Veterans Rehabilitation Center over in Lockwood Boulevard. At that time, actually, I was a business manager for the Pauline Wells Lewis Legacy Mass Choir. And my position there was to take care of all of the business. I had actually prepared a tour for the choir to go and sing for a week of tour. we was to actually sing or do a concert in Richmond, Virginia, on to North Carolina with the North Carolina Gospel Music Workshop Choir. And then from there, we went to Dr. Clean's church, which is in Atlanta, Georgia. The entire time while I was going through rehab at the Veterans Hospital, my mind was still on kingdom building. I began to continue reaching out to the individuals from where we were going to do the concert at. And actually, I was preparing to go on the trip to tour with them. I was told that I probably would not be able to go because I needed some therapy, in order to get myself able to ambulate. They were offering me a wheelchair to ambulate myself. And I refused the wheelchair because I had realized that I was seeing a lot of people guys that were in the VA for rehab, they were actually turning down therapy because the wheelchair was taking place of what they needed them to do. That was not a good thing to me. I wanted to be able to take care of myself and ambulate myself. I made a promise to myself that I was going to work as hard as I possibly could with the strength and the help from the VA to rehab myself. I got a lot of strength from just praying a lot, taking care of myself, doing what was asked of me to do as far as rehab. As a matter of fact, I wore the rehab people out. They were sick and tired of me because they opened up at 7 o'clock in the morning for rehab. 6:45, I was sitting down in the rehab at the door waiting for them to open up so that I could begin my therapy. The therapy was rendering me so much strength, and I was able to recuperate to the point where I actually asked the doctor, I was supposed to have one session of physical therapy every day, but I asked the doctor, could I possibly, if it was possible, that I could have therapy at least twice a day. So I kind of doubled myself with my therapy. Got out of the hospital, got on the bus, went on a tour, had a wonderful time in the Lord. Came back to Baltimore. I was living with my mom at the time, and they gave me a lot of strength. My family actually helped me a lot with my rehabilitation. It was not the point where I needed a lot of physical help. The main thing was that I needed a lot of mental help. I would say 90% of the veterans that fall into have to have rehab or whatever, most people don't think, first of all, that they can be helped. A lot of veterans don't put trust in the veteran medical system. They are there for a reason. They are there to help and to assist you in whatever your needs are. A lot of men or veterans, I would say, were actually, when they had whatever it was that made them ill, they became bitter and angry. One of the things that I did know for certain, that being bitter and angry is not going to get you anywhere. You have to be able to trust in people to help you. And you have to also trust in yourself and your ability to be able to accept help, which a lot of veterans just don't do because I guess the stigma of them being weak, being ill and not able to do for yourself is really not a sign of weakness. It's just a sign that, something has happened to you physically and you need, you really need help. But a lot of people think that because I'm a man, I'm strong, I don't need to be leaning on nobody and that kind of a thing. That's not so. Dear veterans, my friends and my fellow veterans, the VA hospital has done, like I would say, a marvelous job for me and with me. I lean on them, depend on them, and trust them to do what it is that I need to keep myself together, to live and to survive. I've had numerous of disappointments in the system from the beginning, but it was all basically because I did not ask for what I needed. When I realized the reason why I was not recuperating as well as I wanted to or should was because I wasn't asking. They actually kind of pulled me in to say, well, Mr. Ross, if it's something that you need that we're not doing for you, we need you to explain it to us or to ask us for it. Tell us what you're feeling. A lot of men or veterans, they have a problem with actually speaking like their, I guess, their mind about their private thoughts. And for some reason, they feel like they shouldn't have to, really continue to, constantly explain themselves. But I've learned early on that if you humble yourself, extend your hand when people are actually trying to help you, extend your hand, grab hold to them. If they're going to help you, they're going to help you. For God's sakes, please don't turn away help or turn down help. That's what actually happened to me. A lot of time I would be trying to do things that I no longer could do because I was disabled. However, leaning on the status of me being disabled was really, really not a good thing. I had to learn that when someone asks me for help, instead of turning them away, reach back out, tell them thank you. And yes, I do need help. Yes, you can help me, and allow that to process. There's a lot of services that the VA actually have for individuals, financial services, mental services, which there's a stigma about, action for mental health. But I got to a point where I was so overwhelmed. I was feeling as if I was in this thing alone, but I was not, because I'm surrounded with a lot of people that have been through even worse than I have been through. And my mind said, well, if they made it out, why come you can't make it out? Now you claim to serve a being that will actually do all of the things that you would do, would never leave you nor forsake you. And in that, I put my trust and my hope. And I began to help to rehabilitate myself with other people giving me assistance. I gave into my old ways of living and not realizing that if you're walking truly in a new life, then be true to your own self. I fully accept, all the help that I have gotten from the VA. They have been tremendous. I mean, from the point of me actually first with the high blood pressure and the stroke, they have taken me through a lot of rehabilitation. I have gotten sick several times since then. However, I still had to rely on the VA hospital to bring me through. Without question, they have done a magnificent job. The Veterans Hospital in Baltimore City is connected with University of Maryland Hospital. If you've ever been down in that area on Baltimore Street, you see there's a skyline that goes across from the VA hospital to the University of Maryland Hospital. That's because the doctors that are doing their first term over at the University of Maryland, they do their work over at the Veterans Hospital to assist us. Also, a lot of the physicians and clinicians that are in the Veterans Hospital are permanent workers over at Johns Hopkins Hospital also. So with the veterans, we're getting more than actual other veterans in other states, because we're here with the most famous hospital in the world, which is Johns Hopkins Hospital. What a better place to be if you're sick and in need of help. Actually, my first primary care physician was attendant physician or fellow over at Johns Hopkins, but he worked part-time with the VA, and he became my physician. He gave me a lot of information on what the stroke was about, how it happened, how my body was going to be able to react towards it and everything. I took all of the advice, I applied it to my therapy, and here I am today, still surviving and thriving. I'm able to drive. I can take myself back and forth to wherever it is I need to go. I do have assistance that carries me like to the market. I still shop with, actually one of my privileges is to be able to shop at the commissary, which is tax-free grocery store in the military down at Fort Meade. I'm there once a month. My friend actually comes and takes me, Cheryl comes and takes me to my appointment, to veterans so that I can do my shopping, which she also shops with me as well to assist me in that process. I have so many people that I call my medical team that are actually friends and family members of mine that actually help and assist me, even to the point where if I have an appointment or whatever, they come get me. A lot of times when I'm not really have a lot of strength, I'm not able to actually drive myself, but I can drive. And I have been driving, for ever since I actually had the stroke. I want to try to encourage the veterans that are out there that be not dismayed, whatever betide. God will take care of you. There's a lot of things that can happen for you. However, if no one knows because you don't share, how can they help you? But there is a lot of help out there. And there are a lot of people that think that because, you're a veteran, that you're lost and all. We're never lost. We're never forgotten about. There are a lot of people that are out there that really do care and do love us. We need to allow them into our situation so that they can help us. If someone doesn't know what your situation is, then they can't help you. But if you tell them who you are and what you need, perhaps they're able to help you or know someone that can help you. I'm a firm believer that I know that I must lean on other people to help me at this position. I'm very humble to have made it through. I think it's been since my stroke was in 2006. Here I am today, able to stand tall, do the things that I want to do, and without question, I know where my strength lies. However, I thank God for the people that have surrounded me with so much love that help to take care of me. My veteran friends, don't ever feel like you're by yourself. You're totally not alone. There are many people that are around that will help you and can help you. Please don't be closed-minded. Just like, for instance, with the vaccination that's going on today, a lot of veterans or a lot of people, period, in general, feel like that there's some kind of hoax against us getting the vaccination because what happened in the years past when they were using us as guinea pigs for different things. This is really not the case. When we were in the military, everyone in the military knows that when they had a shot or something or whatever they need to give to us, there was no question. You did not have a choice to refuse. You did what you were told to do. If they say there's a new vaccination that's coming out, everybody get in line. You go by the doctor or nurse or whatever, and you took the shot. There was never any question about, well, what is it going to do to me? Am I going to be okay? Or anything like that. We actually obeyed what they said and we did it. It's the same thing to me today. People were questioning me, because you're a veteran, are you going to get the shot? Most certainly I am. If it's something that's going to help me so that I'm safe and then the people that are around me are safe, of course I'm going to. And as you see, I have had my vaccination, and I'm kind of proud of it. There's a lot of people that's afraid of getting the shot. I'm okay with it. Nothing happened. I didn't feel anything wrong. I think one of the things is that I have a high tolerance for pain. So I'm always, can like take needles and like give blood and this kind of thing. And it doesn't bother me at all. Actually, if I'm sitting there looking at them, I don't even know that they finish until they say, okay, this is the last, tube of blood that we need from you, or whatever, but it's done and everything's okay.
That is good. That is really good. This has been great information. Definitely great information. I thank you so very much for what
Sure.
you shared on today, as well as your
Yeah,
service for our country. It's been amazing. And it's good to hear that you're
right.
doing well,
Yes,
even in spite of the stroke you had. You still
right,
had maybe some residue from it by
right,
in physically, but
right,
I mean, everything is going on wonderfully well here.
right.
So that is
Just
a
a little,
great
right,
thing.
right.
That
Yes,
is a great thing. And we appreciate you. And
yes,
I was wondering, um, I'm sure there is, but for the veterans, can you again, you spoke of reaching out and letting people know that there's no harm
right,
in reaching out and letting
right,
people know that you need assistance, but it's
right,
kind of like meet me halfway or part of the way.
right.
um and I have seen veterans that they seem to be angry, and I would imagine that doesn't help in life, because
It does
the
not.
way
No,
people are now is we have to have some type of not sympathy, but some type of
well,
love and care
right. Some kind of passion.
to help
Right,
other people.
right.
So, but thank you. I appreciate you.
You're more than welcome, and I'm glad to
Kira,
have been a part.
thank you. Thank you.
Well,
Yes,
before I thank you for coming on our broadcast, I just want to thank you for your service.
you're welcome.
Number
Thank you.
one, thank you
Yes,
for all that you've done, and thank you for all that you're doing now for veterans. I
yeah,
think this is so important. We have a lot of veterans in our country who need some help, and they just
right,
don't ask for help, or maybe they feel like they're being judged. And this is just a
right.
perfect example. You have a veteran here that just wants you to know, it's okay to ask for help. It's okay to
Yes,
use those resources that are
right.
available to you. So I just
Yeah,
want to encourage our viewers today
right,
to, if you are a veteran or know a veteran that needs
right,
any type of
right,
help them get the resources that they need, because they
right.
are available. And
Yes, they are.
also, I just want to commend you, one, for your strength that you have, in here, okay?
Yes,
Because
yes,
I found that it's amazing what the body can do when healing itself, when you
yes.
have a strong mind and a strong will.
And remain
So,
positive.
yes,
Yes,
and remain
you have to
positive. I'm
remain
telling
positive.
you.
You have to.
Yes, the healing process is 1,000 times better
Right,
when you are positive. So I'm
right.
thankful for you for that as well. So
You're
anyone else who may be watching who's a veteran that has gone
right,
through anything physically, any
right.
trauma, remain positive, hang
Yes,
in
yes.
there.
You got
Healing
to.
is possible. Yes.
It is. One other note I want to also mention to the veterans that may be a little apprehensive about asking for assistance and for help. If you have contacted a physician or for medical help at the VA hospital, one thing I have learned that each and every one of my physicians that I've ever had have spoken to me in confidence about my situation, and even have asked me personal questions about my situation that seem like they may be a little too risque to reveal. However, they always have said to me, Andre, I'm not here to judge you. I'm here to find out what it is that about you that we do not know. Perhaps that I can help you. One example, I was in a state where I was having a lot of personal issues, and I became a little, I would say, mentally disturbed. And my situation ate at me for a long time. And the nurse practitioner that I had was so great that she recognized that I probably needed some mental help. But she was afraid to ask me because she thought, by me being a veteran, that I would be upset that she would even ask or question me about my mental state. However, I had an appointment with her one day, and I had become so overwhelmed that I broke down in my appointment and cried like a baby. And she said, Andre, what is the problem? And I explained to her that I was just going through so much. And she said she had been wanting to ask me something. And I said, before you even ask me, yes. I realized she been wanting to ask me, did I need to see a psychiatrist or a psychiatrist? So I told her, I said, ma'am, first of all, thanks for looking out for me in that manner and knowing me well enough to know that something was off kilter. I accepted that. She immediately made me an appointment. I started seeing the psychologist first, and she put me into a position where she trained and taught me how to, when I was saddened or if I was depressed, how to actually physically bring myself out of that. So guys, girls, military veterans, please get help when you need it. It's not a big thing to say, oh, well, I'm embarrassed. I thought I was embarrassed too. However, the help that I received, I'm no longer ashamed of that.
No.
Only because I did reach out and ask for that help. Been doing well ever since. And every now and then when I get a little down and then feeling as if I'm, in despair, I reach back into that thing and I try to remember what the steps were to bring me out of that depression. But I know one thing is prayer, and I sing a song to myself, which is in my heart. And it helps me come back to my regular. Thank
Awesome,
you.
awesome.
Takira, I feel like dancing again.
Yeah, I wish I could.
That's good enough right there. I always say,
Right.
there are times when individuals that cannot do it for themselves. Prime
Right.
example, when I had the stroke myself, and
Right.
I was partially paralyzed on my left side, and I could not even lift nor put down my left foot.
Right.
And so I had my nephews here. I'm like, you all lift your leg, put your leg down, lift your leg. That was my praise. And
Right,
I
right.
believe God honored that. So
Yes.
however you can praise God for
You
what
do
he's
it.
done, you
Right.
do it. You do it.
Yes. I might not be able to
Takira?
ambulate on one leg, but trust me and believe me, I give the devil the shame with that one leg.
Good,
I love
good,
it.
good, good,
I love it. I
Yes,
love
I
it.
do.
good.
I love it. I love it. Well, thank you so much once again for coming on our broadcast. We
Thank you.
appreciate you so very much.
Thank you.
Before we close today, I just want to
Yes.
remind everyone to come back tomorrow.
You're right.
Okay. At 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We have some great topics that we are going to discuss. And we just love having you here. So 1 p.m. guys, let's log in and I will see you
All
tomorrow.
right. Yeah.
Have a
Okay.
great day.
Thank you. You too. Thank you, God. Love
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.